So based on your findings, what future directions do you see PEEK GO nanocomposites, and are there any other potential automotive or industrial applications where this material could be efficiently utilized?
Yeah, so based on our recent findings, I could say that there is a lot of scope for these particular materials, and there are a lot of applications in diversified factors. For example, you can start off with the medical devices, surgical instruments, because these are the tools that generally need a high amount of strength, precision, and resistance to the sterilization process. So that is about the medical domain. Another application area is the electronics, wherein we can think of using these materials in the form of heat sinks and thermal management components, because these components, they benefit from high thermal conductivity and stability.
Hello, welcome to Book Hookup, where we bring you conversations with some of the brilliant minds in research and innovation. And today we have the honor of having with us Dr. Anand Joshi, who is a research director and professor at the Mechatronics Engineering Department here at Parul University. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for making me a part of this podcast, wherein I can discuss the research that we have been doing in the field of material science at Parul University.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, you have been researching polyether, ether, ketone, and graphene oxide nanocomposites, and especially their use in brake pads. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So can you start off by explaining what polyether ether ketone is and why are they chosen to enhance brake pads?
Sure, yeah. See, PEEK, as we commonly know it, it's a polyether ether ketone, and it's a high-performance engineering thermoplastic, which is well known for its excellent mechanical properties, thermal stability, as well as the chemical resistance. And if we talk about the key features, then PEEK, it exhibits very good mechanical properties, making it an ideal material for applications that require high load-bearing capacities. And if we talk about the other features, thermal stability is one of the very important feature, wherein it can maintain the mechanical properties over a wide range of temperature that goes up to 250 degrees C or even higher. The third property that this particular material possesses is the chemical resistance. And it is resistant to a wide range of chemicals, including acids, bases, and organic solvents.
That is fascinating, sir. So I'm curious though, given these impressive properties that you have just mentioned, what specific problems with the traditional brake pads are you aiming to solve with the PEEK GO nanocomposites?
Okay. So when we talk about PEEK GO nanocomposites, then they can be used for solving a number of problems that generally occur when we are using traditional materials in the brake pads, because the performance as well as the longevity of the traditional brake pad materials is not so high. So the first problem that we can tackle is a wear and tear problem. So in case of traditional brake pad materials, they tend to wear out very easily due to the amount of high friction and stresses that are induced in the brake pad materials when they are subjected to braking. And if we are using, let's say, PEEK GO nanocomposites, then it significantly enhances the wear resistance. And this is because the PEEK's inherent durability and the graphene oxide's reinforcing properties, when we are reinforcing it into PEEK, they tend to distribute the stress more evenly on the surface, which further reduces the wear rate and extending the lifespan of the brake pads. So that is one thing that this material can do. The second problem that we generally encounter when we are using the traditional brake pad materials is the high friction coefficient. So excessive friction in traditional brake pads, it can lead to a very noisy operation, and further it leads to an increased wear on not only the brake pads but also on the brake rotors. In order to solve this problem, what we are proposing, or what we have proposed in one of our literature, is that graphene oxide, when it is used along with PEEK, then the lubricating properties of graphene oxide, it helps to lower this coefficient of friction, and this further results in a very quiet operation, a smooth braking, very good performance, and further it reduces the wear on all of the components that are used for braking. Third general problem that occurs with the traditional brake pad materials is the thermal management. So if we talk about traditional brake pad materials, they can get overheated due to the intensive braking, and which further leads to fading of a brake pad material, further reducing its braking efficiency, and finally a potential failure. So what Peak Geo does is it provides excellent thermal stability, ensuring that the brake pad materials can withstand very high temperatures. And additionally, when we are using graphene oxide, what it does is it improves the composite's thermal conductivity, which further aids in better performance of the entire brake pad material.
That is truly an impressive list of improvements. It sounds like you're not only looking at the durability and efficiency, but also the environmental impact of the brake pads, which is very interesting.
Yes.
So based on your findings, what future directions do you see Peak Geo Nanocomposites, and are there any other potential automotive or industrial applications where this material could be efficiently utilized?
Yeah, so based on our recent findings, I could say that there is a lot of scope for these particular materials, and there are a lot of applications in diversified factors, including automotive, and there are other industrial sectors that can also be explored. So if I'm talking about the future research directions, that is the directions in which we can still work or we can do some more research, the first thing is the optimization of the composite formulations. So here what we can do is we can investigate the optimum ratios of graphene oxide to PEEK to see how it is performing, or let's say to maximize the performance and the other benefits. Another thing that can be explored is the effect of different types and sizes of graphene oxide materials and its effect on the mechanical, thermal, as well as the tribological properties of the entire nanocomposite. So these are some of the applications. Apart from this, we can also do a long-term durability study. So what we need to do in this case is we need to conduct some extensive testing under various conditions, maybe an environmental condition, any other condition, just to assess that what is the long-term stability and performance of this particular material. We also can study the aging behavior and the wear mechanisms of this particular material over an extended period. We can also explore the scalable production methods just to see that the cost gets reduced and to enhance the feasibility of a mass production system. There are certain other things that can be done, like exploring the potential of self-healing properties of incorporating some other nanomaterials apart from graphene oxide or some additives along with graphene oxide to the existing PEEK materials. So those were the future research directions that can be further explored. Looking at the application point of view, there are many domains wherein we can explore the applications too. For example, you can start off with the medical devices, wherein the implants, the prosthetics, which are generally to be made up of biocompatible materials, can be looked upon. And these materials can serve as an excellent material when we talk about biomedical implants. Another area wherein we can touch upon is the surgical instruments, because these are the tools that generally need a high amount of strength, precision, and resistance to the sterilization process. So that is about the medical domain. Another application area is the electronics, wherein we can think of using these materials in the form of heat sinks and thermal management components, because these components, they benefit from high thermal conductivity and stability. And when we talk about electronics, wearable electronics is something that people are looking upon nowadays. So wearable electronics need to be durable. They need to be made up of materials which are highly flexible, or you can say they are the next generation wearable devices. Another potential application area may be the industrial machinery. For example, if I talk about the gears and bearings, these are the materials that need very high performance, and they require a low coefficient of friction and a very high wear resistance. So yeah, this can be a potential material. Apart from that, in the same industrial domain, we can say that seals and gaskets, these are the components that need to be made up of materials that can withstand very harsh chemical treatments and very high temperatures. So yeah, PEEK Geo, when combined together, it has a very good property. Another one of the promising area nowadays is the energy sector. So oil and gas, they are made up of components that require very high chemical resistance as well as durability, specifically when they are working in extreme environments.
That is incredibly exciting. It's so exciting to think about how these materials that are being used in solving problems in brake pads could be used in something as critical as medical implants.
Yep.
That is so exciting. And the possibilities, they seem so endless.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Anand, thank you so much, sir. This has been an enlightening conversation, and thank you for sharing your insights with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate
So, for the viewers and the listeners, thank you for joining us today, and watch out and stay tuned for the next episode of Book Hookup. Until next time.